So, the IL-2M, as requested, actually tried to be an attacker, strike aircraft, and this happens. So, I decided to become a little bit of a fighter. I see the S199 coming in here, and I try and go for a head-on because this thing is absolutely deadly in a head-on. I try and start shooting from a little bit further out than what I normally would, hoping to get a few hits. No cigar, unfortunately, and I start to go into a little bit of a dogfight. This plane is actually surprisingly manoeuvrable for a strike aircraft. Keep going to say attacker, but they're not called that anymore. But yeah, for a strike aircraft, it's quite manoeuvrable. You can see here I'm managing to stick on his tail, albeit for a fighter, the S199 isn't really that manoeuvrable. Trying to take a few shots here, and I don't know if any of you have had this problem, but that smoke actually makes it really hard to aim. But I'm thinking of making this series, so if people do request an airplane, I will try and get some footage. Just please no more attackers or bombers. I'm a fighter pilot. That's kill number 1 in this plane. So we go into the second clip. Again, I gained a little bit of altitude. This thing is very slow, doesn't climb very quick. At the end of the day, it's not meant for this type of combat, it is meant for ground attacking. So I'm diving in on the S199, and he's trying to make some evasive manoeuvres. And this is an attacker, but it catches people out sometimes how quick this thing can actually turn or pull for an attacker for a strike aircraft. And you see me pull in there and get a kill, and these cannons will just obliterate anything that they do touch. This plane does have good guns. So here you'll see me actually try and be an attacker for a bit. And well, I have I like the Shikasa machine guns. They're probably the best 30 calibers in the game, but for most of this footage here, the plane is actually stock, which is why you'll see it's not really doing that much damage to that machine gun. And I nearly ripped my wings off there. I think it was about 590 in the red line. But when this thing is actually going at higher speeds, it turns quite nicely still for a strike aircraft. And you see me do some attacker stuff, and I'll be trying to get a few more ground targets here. So yeah, as I was saying, I'm thinking of making this series, so if anybody does want to request a plane, I'll be more than happy to fly it. I do prefer to just fly fighter planes though. I'm not that great as a strike aircraft or bomber pilot at all. Not saying I'm a great fighter pilot either, but that's definitely where my preference lies, and definitely where my best performance lies. You will see in this plane as well, there'll be times when I actually try and use the rear gunner. The view of the rear gunner does seem quite obstructive. It's not that easy to try and get a shot on people with the rear gunner, so I think it may be beneficial if this plane didn't actually have the rear gunner, just to make it that bit more manoeuvrable, a bit more quick. On the ground targets, I do try and only use my machine guns, but as you will see here, I do use my cannon rounds here, and when the cannon rounds connect, the ground targets pretty much obliterate. And the reason that I use my cannon rounds there is because I can see there's a little furball going on here with a P61, P51 and a F4U Corsair, and I wanted to get in on a little bit of the action. So I start by going in, but the P61 gets taken out, and you can see over there that the Corsair's diving on the 0, but he changes his target to me and he goes head on with me. Yeah, don't go head on with this plane. I shoot him into a ball of flames, chop his wing off, and he goes into a flat spin. I do try and pull up for the P-51 here, and I start getting shot at by a Wolf 190. Now, yeah, this thing doesn't hold speed very well, because it really doesn't have speed, so you can't really chase people down, and a lot of your kills in air-to-air combat probably will come from head-ons like this. I do get the kill there, didn't get my aim on, which, you know, set me on fire. This thing is a flying tank, however you will see me lose my landing gear there to the fire, and slowly but surely hit the ground. And that's how a lot of your games will go in this thing. I did this clip in here because I found it actually quite funny. You can see that I'm weapon, only in a slight climb, I guess, because I'm trying to see if I can actually catch up to this AI BF-110. Yeah, it's not going to happen. The AI target's gaining distance on me. So here again you can see another fighter plane actually coming in for the head-on. This thing has 23mm cannons. I think we all know how this is going to go. So he opens fire, as do I, and he goes on fire. I do try and pull up to see if I could reach that Wolf. Yeah, no, he's coming for the head-on, but I won't make it. So I changed my target to CW21 for now. The Wolf is trying to get some guns on me. He's trying to fire, and I notice I now have a second bogey behind me. They're all firing at me. I don't bother looking back to see what's behind me because you're not going to outmaneuver things here. Just missed the A36 there. That's a shame. That would have been a nice kill. I pull up to see if I can follow him round, but unfortunately not. And another Corsair comes in for a head-on, and well, we know how this is going to go. Down he goes. And that's the second kill of this match too. Try and get my guns on target for the CW21, but unfortunately he goes vertical, which is the right thing for him to do in his position. And I try and get my gun out to see if I can shoot down any targets behind me, but unfortunately not. So I try and turn into the Wolf. He's already turning into me. It's game over at that point. So here you can see me on the tail of another Wolf 190. And this clip is funny. You can see my wingtip get shut off. And I added this one in because I found it quite funny. This thing stayed manoeuvrable for ages like this. It just kept flying with a lot of control. It was great. And then you can see just shorter in the same game, BF-109 comes in, takes off my other wingtip, and this thing is still flying. Just to reiterate how much of a flying tank this thing is. It was great fun to see that. Eventually though I do go down as a Wolf 190 comes in. I try and take a head on, but I can't get my guns on target in time. And he takes me down. But still, great. Great damage model. So here in this game, I can see a bow fighter below me. I think, yeah, come on, let's have it. Let's have a little strike aircraft, a little attacker fight, see what we can do. I'm not really too sure if he notices me at this point. He goes for an AI target and ground targets. I open fire and get a crit, and open fire again, and down he goes. Down goes the bow fighter. And then I remember that I am actually a strike aircraft, so I'm going to go down and try and take out a couple of ground targets here. Take out a AAA because I hate AAA. Always make that priority. Just get a few hits. Just got a few hits on the other ground target. So here we get a Ju-87, again coming head on. We know how this is going to go with these cannons. I think I'm overleading there and I get set on fire very early. But the Ju-87 will succumb to the fire and I will get that kill. This will happen to you a lot in this plane. So this is the last game in this plane, and at the minute I dive down on the F6F. I tried to do the strike aircraft roll, however, with the speed of this thing, fighters usually taking me out before I even got there. Just did a little side climbing so I could try and get into some combat. Take the F6F into a bit of an energy fight, but he's tunnel visioned on my ally in front there. Get some more shots off, doesn't take him out, and then that burst does. I turn my focus onto the B-18B. He looks like he's just trying to escape at the moment, he's just trying to extend. I shoot some of the Shikass rounds at him, some of the 30 caliber rounds, and I manage to get a critical hit and a fire. At this time I thought the P63 in front actually set him on fire, so I turn around. I don't want to steal anyone's kill. And as the B-18 goes down, I get the kill, and the P63 follows me. Yeah, he didn't shoot me though. So I go in now, there's only a couple of enemies left to take out a few ground targets. And, you know, do what this plane was made for. I'm still trying not to use the cannons, just in case any of the remaining aircraft come in. And I can see here that the P-51's now coming in. So I'm gonna dive down to the deck because I need to try and get as much speed as I can, but I'm gonna pretend as if I'm just attacking ground targets, which I am, hoping that he dives on me sooner rather than later before I lose my airspeed. He looks like he's diving down, and I try and pull up into him, and he does the right thing. He pulls back up and he goes vertical, leaving me with next to no chance to get him. So my only option here is to put myself into a dive, try and pick up as much speed as possible, and I'm going to set up a reversal to reverse the P-51. Dope!